What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another market update. Grail hunting. Everybody likes to have a little grail in their collection, whether it's mini grails or big boy grails, and there were a lot of really awesome items that sold here recently on eBay that I would classify as big boy grails. We're going to start off with the semi-grails, maybe the mini grails, and then we're going to slowly dig into some of these incredible items like you see in the thumbnail for this video. Pretty incredible stuff, as you can see by the thumbnail. Lots of Ledy's mint on card or mint in sealed box. We've got a Meccano C-3PO, a transition card for Yoda, and then some PBPs that are mint on card that are just unbelievable. As always, thanks to my Patreon supporters, you guys allow this channel to happen. Patreon.com/actionfiguregrader is where you can go to sign up to get 24 hours early access to all my videos. Okay, so let's start off with some mini grails, so to speak. I would classify a vinyl cape Jawa as a mini grail, maybe a major grail, just depends on your budget. But this one was graded UKG 85%, and it included the certificate of authenticity from UKG inside the case. Pretty beautiful figure, and you know, I would say that given where prices are on this figure, it's nothing to laugh at. It's nothing to be bashful about calling a vinyl cape Jawa a grail. And I just couldn't believe how much this figure has really gone up in price over the last, I call it the last 12 to 18 months or so. It used to be kind of $2,000-ish, $2,000 to $2,500 for an 85 grade, and depending on who's grading it and how it looks inside the case and things like that, the price has really jumped. This one did sell in an auction for 2,550 pounds, which is a little over $3,100, almost $3,200 before shipping. And I would say that that's probably in line with market. I mean, I've seen AFA 85 examples go for over $4,000 fairly regularly now, either on eBay or you know, even on Facebook. So that was a beautiful figure. A couple of other mini grails before we start digging into some of the more incredible items. This was an AFA 80 Plus Blue Snags. Again, you know, a lot of people consider this a grail for their collection. I call this more like a mini grail. You know, there's a lot of them out there, and they seem to sell almost every week, so they're not like super hard to find. And it all depends on how you classify grails, but I think for some collectors, you know, a Blue Snags, adding that to their collection would be considered a grail. And this one had the brand new case style. Again, it was graded AFA 80 Plus. That one sold at an auction for $760, which is not bad, really, given what Blue Snags have done here recently. I mean, we've documented a number of examples that have sold for well more than this price. So $760, I think, is kind of right in line. You know, ungraded, $300, $350 for even ones with lots of rubbing on the boots and things like that, or on the belt buckle. This one was a very nice example and definitely worthy of an 80 plus grade archival case. The same seller also had a UKG 80% yak face, and beautiful last 17 figure. Again, it was an older style case, so I think that might have kept the price down just a little bit. That still sold for $676. I think, you know, given the price difference on these two, and if I didn't have both of them in my collection, I'd probably be going for the Blue Snags. Yak faces seem to be a little bit easier, and, you know, the price obviously was a little bit less, but not too far off from what that 80 plus sold for. So now that we've got kind of some mini grails out of the way, I think it's time to start digging into some bigger grails. And Collectible Investment Brokerage, which is affiliated with AFA, they had some absolutely insane items at auction that ended this past Sunday, May 14th. So I don't know when this video is going to go live, so just take that into account. But this is a 12-back C Takara Darth Vader. This one had the alternate head as well as the white background on the card back. So you can see that Takara sticker there on the front. And there's a lot going on with this AFA label. White background, Takara sticker, alternate head as well. So some of these Takaras included this alternate face sculpt Darth Vader. So this one is basically the trifecta of the Takara with the white background and the alternate head. There are some examples out there. I don't know if they were on the white background or not, but there are some other 12-back Takaras that have just the standard kind of Hong Kong style head. But you can see that swoop to the face sculpt is a lot different than the standard Hong Kong. So beautiful example, graded AFA 75, and that one sold for big money. $3,506, 28 bids, plus $25 shipping. So that's a pretty big price, and about where they have been offered up on Facebook. There's one on Rebel Hideout on Facebook that was very similar to this one that was offered right around that same price point. So I think that's kind of right in line with market. Now let's dig into some foreign variants that were incredible. This is the 12-inch Ledy qualified AFA 40. So I think that this one is an unused contents and fairly low grade. The box got a 40, the window got a 70, the figure got an 80. So this is not mint in seal box, but unused contents within the packaging. But you're never going to find these. This is the first time I've ever seen one of these 12-inch Ledy R2-D2s with still had the packaging, available at auction. And usually even ungraded, loose by themselves, you're talking $1,200 to $1,500 pretty easily. But this one sold for $3,716 on 33 bids plus $40 shipping. So about $3,750 took that home. And wow, what an incredible item there. Some other Ledys that I would definitely qualify as grails. This is the Regresso 50-back Lando Calrissian, mint on card. Obviously, the card had quite a bit of wear, so that's why it got the 30 grade. And that usually is the case for a lot of these mint on card Ledys. They just did not survive. Here's the back of the card. And as I've talked about in past videos, these card backs were available either in positive card backs like this one, where it's kind of like a tan background with black liner for the characters, or the negative background where it's all black with white liner for the characters on the back. But that's a pretty incredible item, and I think that price is actually pretty good, $12.75. I think if I was going to bid on that, I would prefer to have the blister support on that one, just because, you never know what happens with something this fragile. But the blister score was 60, but I think if I had been the one submitting this one for grading, I probably would have asked for the blister support just to be safe on that one. But wow, what an awesome looking item. $12.75 again took that home, plus $25 shipping, so $1,300. That's probably about right, quite honestly. I mean, mint on card Ledys. The later Regressos usually command anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500, depending on condition, even ungraded. Sometimes a lot higher if it's a really popular character, like this one. This is a Regresso Yoda mint on card. This was an AFA 60. The card got a 60, the blister got an 80, and the figure got an 85. So 280 and 85 subscores on a mint on card Ledy Yoda. What an incredible stunner of an item. That I could definitely consider a holy grail, and certainly the market agreed with me. $6,433. Just an incredible final sales price for a beautiful mint on card Ledy Yoda. And here's the back of the card. Again, it was a positive card back. Look how cool that Darth Vader looks. That is just unbelievable. I've got a number of these card backs where I had it loose graded with the Ledy figure displayed with the card backs, but to get a true mint on card Yoda on that card bag, that is an absolute gem, and the price was pretty eye-popping there. Next up was a Meccano 20-back C-3PO mint on card. This was an AFA 75. This is probably a little bit of a step down versus those Ledys. You can find these fairly regularly, as you'll see in a second, but again, it was an AFA 75, 285 subscores though. So that one sold for $2,453 plus $25 shipping, 42 bids on that, so lots of action. And I did find an AFA 80 that sold on March 7th. So you can see the subgrades on that one. Card got an 80, blister 80, figure 85. That one sold in an auction. Only one bid on this one, and this was available in Japan. So you're trusting that it's going to arrive safe and sound. But this is another one that did sell that was slightly higher grade that sold for $3,900. So again, the AFA 75 that you see here, this one just sold for $2,453 plus shipping, and then this one sold for $3,900. That was an AFA 80, so a step up in grade. So two big data points. Two fairly recent data points. Again, that one was in March versus this one that just closed on May 14th. But pretty incredible item. Now let's dig into the Spanish variants. So this is an Imperio Contratica Stormtrooper. Wow. I mean, this is definitely a holy grail, because this one will never show up, especially at auction. And this one did have the blister support on that one. And it was an AFA yellowed 80. 80, 85, 80 are the subscores for an Empire Strikes Back 31 back PvP Star Wars Stormtrooper. Wow. That is just unbelievable. This is really a POC. This is not really a PvP. And AFA does that. They call the POCs, the early Spanish figures, they call them all, whether it's POC or PvP, they call them all PvP on the actual label there. But this is really an early Spanish figure. There's the PvP/POC label, and I guess it could be a PvP. I don't know. It's got the PvP label, so that was after POC merged with the PvP factory. That's the logo that you see there is the POC quality, guarantee quality with the PvP logo down below. But wow, what an awesome looking mint on card. Tropa de Assalto. Tropa de Assalto, so Assault Trooper. But wow, what an awesome looking mint on card Stormtrooper. That one sold for $5,100 on 33 bids plus $25 shipping. So definitely a grail in my book. That's a pretty incredible one. Next up was a Return of the Jedi Spanish PvP. This one had the one figura gratis, so one free figure on the El Retorno del Jedi. This one had the larger blister on that one. That one was graded AFA 60, so the card got a 60, blister 80, figure 80 for a PvP 65 back AT-AT drivers. So wow, that one sold for $1,750 on 23 bids. I think that was a pretty good buy, really. You know, I think in higher grade you're probably talking $2,500. I saw one on Facebook that was this exact same item that was in better grade that I think was around $2,500 if memory serves. That was a while ago. But here's the back of the card. You can see all the kind of damage to the back of the card and why it got the 60 grade despite the two higher subscores of 80 and 80 for the blister and the figure. But because the card back had so much damage, it only got the overall 60. But wow, what an incredible item there as well. Clear blister AT-AT driver for $1,750 plus shipping. Staying on the AT-AT driver, here was an Empire Strikes Back proof card for the 45 back Star Wars display arena. That one sold for $2,276. That seems to be kind of the going rate for a lot of these Empire Strikes Back proof cards, anywhere from kind of $2,000 to $3,000. I think you're going to obviously pay more for some of the more popular characters like Leia or Vader or Luke Skywalker. But for the Imperial Army soldier, you got this one. Again, it was graded 80 plus. 45 back proof card AT-AT driver for 80 plus, and that one again sold for $2,276, so about $2,300 for that one. So here's another one that was a gem. It was ungraded, but this is what's called the Kenner Canada transition sticker. And so what happened here is they took Canadian Empire Strikes Back card backs and they slapped this Return of the Jedi sticker on there as they were transitioning over from the old packaging of the Empire Strikes Back to the Return of the Jedi packaging. So these are very rare, very sought after. If you want to see some examples of these, you can go over to the Blacked Out Ewoks. He's got a couple of these, I believe, in his collection. But this is a pretty incredible item. It was ungraded, but it looks to be in great shape overall. The back of the card back did have this tear in the upper right-hand corner on the back. So that's probably why, whoever owned it didn't submit it for grading, because it would have gotten a very low score, even though the sub-scores for the figure and the blister would have been very high. So it's probably like a 60, 80, 85, something like that. But very desirable, though, to have these transition stickers. There's a guy on Facebook that's got almost the full run of these, and very, very desirable to see these transition stickers placed over top of the Kenner Canada ESB card backs. But that's still sold for $1,525. And data points on those, very rarely have I don't think I've ever seen a Yoda one. I've seen them for the Cloud Car Pilot. They can approach $2,000 pretty easily. There was one that was at auction on Deal or No Deal on Facebook. That was the transition card for the Cloud Car Pilot. Obviously, given my Cloud Card affinity, I would have loved to have had that one, but I think it sold for over $2,000 if memory serves. So anyway, just another data point there for a beautiful transition sticker Yoda. Now we've got a prototype. This is a first shot prototype for the Rebel Commando AFA 80. And here is the CIB on this one. Molded face, first shot action figure. And it's harder to find these for the Return of the Jedi figures, and the price reflected that. It's really hard to find it for the Empire Strikes Back. It seems like they're fairly easy to find for the first 21 figures. The Empire Strikes Back figures, there's not many of them out there, and those always go for big money. We just documented one that was an IG-88 that sold at the last Hakes auction, or maybe 2 auctions ago. That sold for big money. I don't remember the number. It's like $6,000 plus for the IG-88 unpainted prototype. And then the Return of the Jedi figures are maybe a little bit easier to find than the Empire Strikes Back, probably similar to some of the first 21 figures. But this molded face Rebel Commando was again graded AFA 80, first shot prototype, archival case. That one sold for $2,025. So big money on that one. So pretty interesting auction for a prototype there. Here's another kind of semi-grail, and I know of a collector that really loves these kind of overstock KB Toys 2-packs, and apparently to get one with an R2-D2 inside, it's very tough to do. Very tough to do. And it's got the first 12 R2-D2 inside with the Gamorrean Guard. So, you know, obviously by the time of the Return of the Jedi, it was all R2-D2 sensor scopes. So to get one with a you know, a solid dome R2-D2, which I assume that's what that is. Yeah, that's a solid dome R2-D2. So to get a first 12 R2 on Return of the Jedi packaging, even for these overstock with the Gamorrean Guard, it's very hard to do, and it's worth every penny, I think, of $2,850. I guarantee you, I know who bought this one. If he didn't have it already in his collection, he's got like something like 50 or 70 of them. It's unbelievable. I've seen his wall of 2-packs on Facebook, and so I would imagine he's probably the buyer of this one, given how rare this one is. So $2,850 again. Took that one home, and it was an AFA 50, 80. And that's common. Most of these KB Toys overstock 2-packs are just beat up because they were thrown in bins at KB Toys retail locations. So they were all kind of beat up, and very tough to find, though, with that R2-D2. Next up, yet another Power of the Force Nikto. And if you remember from my last video covering these, the Nikto was only available down in Australia and New Zealand. And to get a second one at auction, no less, a week later, it's just unbelievable that, you know, you never see these come up for sale, or if they do, they're always at buy it now prices for just insane prices. But to have 2 in back-to-back weeks at auction, you'll probably never see this happen again. But this one was again offered by CIB, and it sold for almost the exact same price as the other one that was offered by Lee's Toy Review. This one sold for $2,175 plus $25 shipping. If you remember, we talked about that Power of the Force AT-AT driver that sold for over, I think it was over $6,000 if memory serves. But that one was another of the Australia, New Zealand only, along with Nikto and then the Gamorrean Guard. Those are the big 3 that were only available down there, and they always go for big money. But that one did sell for about $2,200 ungraded. Next up, some other mini grails. We've got a Blue Saber Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight mint on card. So this is an unpunched example. It looked to be in pretty great shape overall. It did have a ding in the upper right-hand corner, but you can very clearly see it's got the blue saber inside there. And, you know, it's just kind of get some close-ups of the blister there. So some dings at the top. That one sold one bid, $1,495. So $1,500 for a mint on card Blue Saber Luke Jedi. Is probably like 70, 75 grade overall. There is a crease in the upper left-hand corner as well, but it was unpunched. So beautiful looking example. Next up, we've got some mint in sealed box play sets and vehicles, and this is that AFA 70 Death Star Station play set that I had in my What to Buy video, and it did not disappoint with the final sales price. $4,050 for a mint in sealed box AFA 70 Death Star Space Station. So $40.50 plus $75 shipping. So almost $4,200. There's the label on that one. So it is true, a true mint in sealed box example. It does not have the qualified blue label. So to get that AFA red label, it's got to be a mint in sealed box. So, but yeah, $4,000 plus on that one. And then here is that Empire Strikes Back packaging for the Millennium Falcon. This was a qualified grade, so it's unused contents. No longer factory sealed. It did have the $1 rebate sticker on the top there. And here's the label on that one. So unused contents. That one sold for $4,170. I think I said in the What to Buy video that it would probably sell for over $4,000. So that's exactly what it did. It sold for $4,170 plus $70 shipping. And then finally, we've got the coup de grace, so to speak. This is a Droids mint on card Boba Fett, and these have really jumped up in price over the last couple of years. It was ungraded, but it looked to be in great shape overall. It did have the Boba Fett coin, obviously, with the Toys R Us price sticker. And if you happen to buy this one for $2.97 at Toys R Us and kept it in the packaging way back in the day, from 1985 or so, you did pretty well on your investment, because this one sold for $8,100 on 17 bits. Just an incredible price. I've seen some AFA examples that have sold for over $10,000 on Facebook. $10,000 to $15,000 now is kind of the going rate for an AFA graded example. So this one again was ungraded. The blister was heavily yellowed, but it did not look like it had any cracks to the blister. So $8,100 for that Droids Boba Fett mint on card. Pretty iconic looking. I love the card art on that, and I definitely appreciate the fact that Hasbro re-released this guy for that Target exclusive TVC. So that's as close as I'm ever going to get. Even if I won the lottery, I would be so terrified of the blister breaking on something like this that I would never buy it. But pretty awesome to see that one sell in an auction as well. So, I don't know what you guys think, but to me, these are some true holy grails that we just talked about, and a lot of them were at auction, if not all of them were at auction on eBay recently. So you just never know what you're going to find out there on eBay. And this is really like looking at a Hakes auction, right? Hakes is usually known for getting these kind of holy grail type items, but to find them on eBay where anybody can bid on them without a Hakes account and not pay the 20% premium, admittedly you got to pay, sales tax and things like that, and hope that they arrive to you safe and sound. You never know what you're going to get, though. It's a pretty incredible lot of items that I just covered here. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.